Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Kel here with another video for you. In this video, I am going to teach you guys how to sew a single welt pocket. Now, single welt pockets are very common in trousers and just pants. I've seen them in some skirts. And yeah, they're really fun to make as soon as you understand how to make them. They are a little bit tricky, but don't worry, you will get the hang of it. So I hope you will enjoy this video, and please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn all things fashion and sewing, and leave me a comment down below if there's something you would like to learn how to sew or anything fashion related. So thank you guys, I appreciate you. Okay guys, I'm going to teach you how to sew the single welt pocket. So here is the pattern that I made for it. This is going to be my measurement for it. This is 4.5 by 3/8. Now you can do whatever measurement that you would like. I just prefer to do this measurement because I kind of want a more thinner one for my design. So I went ahead and cut my pieces out, my lining and everything, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this. So with my main piece, this will be the strip, the welt strip. I went ahead and made my measurement, and then I did a stitch to guide myself. And then this is my garment that I am sewing. I'm sewing some pants. So what I'm going to do is I went ahead and put some interfacing underneath to give it some structure. So now that I have sewn where my stitches are at, I can now evenly align this together and then pin it and then re-sew together, right sides together with my sewing machine. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this and then sew it together. Okay, after you have sewn in your strip so that the square is going to end up being your strip, what you want to do now is flip it over, and then you want to check your stitches on both sides of your pants or trousers, and you want to measure them to make sure that they're perfectly even and you like the way that they are, because the next step, what we're going to do is in the middle of the square or the stitches that we have, the box that we have created, I'm going to measure in the middle of that and then cut about 1/4 to about 1/2 inch, and then flip this square that we just sewn in to the inside. So I'll go ahead and do that for you. Okay, so I just wanted to explain what I did there again. So mark in the middle of your square that you just sewed, and then you want to clip 2 not through the seam. See how I have like that 1/4 inch right there that I clipped on both sides? And then I'm going to go ahead and flip my pocket inside of my pants, and then you want to press that to give yourself a nice clean edge. And then from here we'll go ahead and press it, and then after you press this is where you create that single strip. You just fold it up like that, and then obviously take your time, make sure that it's perfectly straight. And then going on the other way around, sorry, it's kind of hard to see. flipping it the other way around because I'm holding it, that's what's going to create your strip. Okay guys, I have my garment on my little mini iron board that I have here. I just have the pocket flipped upside down, so right here's the right side and right here is where that waistband would go. I just wanted to show you a way how to get a nice clean seam is by opening this little seam allowance that we created here. Try to like open that if you can, and then press this as flat as you possibly can. Okay guys, I went ahead and I pressed this open as much as I could, and then I laid it down and pressed it again right here. Same with underneath. I pressed it the best as I could open, and then laid it down and pressed completely flat. So hopefully that will help this edge have a nice crisp and clean look. And then the next part, what you're going to go ahead and do is have your fingers be even. You'll pinch it like this and then fold it going upward until it meets just the top of that open box that we sewed. And then you want to kind of gently press that open. Now this part you want to, take your time, make sure that everything's completely even, and just do the best that you can. I would also recommend sewing your pockets, both of them at the same time, because they're better off looking more similar than if you were to sew one at a time. So after you go ahead and roll that up and give it a press, you will check the front to see how that strip is looking and if you like it. And if you end up liking where it's at, then you will hold it together, flip it around. Oh, sorry, I bumped the camera. Flip it around, and then this little piece that we cut to the seams, not through the seams, you're going to sew it all down on the corners right there, including with this little flap right there. So I'll go ahead and sew that for you. Okay, after you have pressed it the best that you can and folded that strip up, the next thing you're going to do to sew it in place, so have it right side up facing you, and then have your finger on the corner of the pocket, pull the fabric back, and then this little flap right here, you're going to sew down completely straight while sewing that strip in place. So let me go ahead and see if I can zoom in better. Okay, so yes, this strip right here, you are going to sew just above the stitch that you've already made to hold the strip in place. So I'll go ahead and zoom back out and sew that down for you. Okay guys, so I went ahead and sewed the strip down on the two corners right here. As you see, I have my little notches right there, and then I will press this again, and then after I press it, I will then go ahead and sew it. Now this this part is optional, but what you can do is sew it down right here. And if you have enough room, I don't have enough room on mine because my strip is pretty small, but you can also sew it down underneath right here, press it again, and then sew your pocket bag on. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, you guys, before I put my pocket bag on, I'm actually going to go ahead and top stitch all the way around my pocket bag. You can also just top stitch before you go ahead and, fold this part down, like I said, and sew that flap down like how I explained earlier. You can just sew a top stitch around if that will be easier for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Okay, you guys, to finish off our pocket, what we're gonna do is I have the same colored fabric as my fashion fabric that will cover where the opening of the pocket is, so that way you don't see a different color of the pocket. And then I have some different fabric that's a little bit softer. I'm just gonna go ahead and sew 1/2 inch or whatever my seam allowance was, place that on top, and then I'm just gonna serge around, and then that's pretty much the end of your pocket. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. Alrighty, so I went ahead and sewed on my pocket bag, so now this pocket is complete. The last and final step on what I wanted to show you is that after you sew on your pocket bag, you'll have this opening on top as well. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to sew only on the pocket bag, not on your garment. Go ahead and sew that down so that way that is closed and it won't come up like it is on this side. So I will go ahead and sew this down, and then I am all done sewing my single welt pockets. Okay, you guys, and that is how you would go about sewing a single welt pocket. Now, if you are doing a double welt pocket, you'd pretty much do the same, but on the upper and lower side of the pocket. So if you need any additional help with that, just send me an email, write me a comment, and I'd love to help you. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And please hit subscribe to follow my account for all things sewing and fashion related. Thank you guys. I hope you have a fun and safe week.